calling for greater freedom of expression, respect for human rights, and free elections. But because of his role in drafting and circulating the charter, he was arrested and sentenced to 11 years in prison, a term that he continues to serve. Leo's long, arduous, and peaceful struggle for human rights has made him most deserving of this award, and we pause today to recognize and honor his life's work. However, we also take this opportunity to call on the Chinese government to respect the basic human rights of his people and to release Leo from prison.
She will not be able to accept a prize on his behalf. Since 1901, only 3 other Nobel Prize winners have been prevented from attending the ceremony to accept their prize. In 1935, Karl von Oskey, a German peace activist, was prevented from receiving the prize by the Nazi government. Interesting, the Nazi government and the Chinese government, the same parallel. In 1975, Sakharov, a Russian nuclear scientist, a hero to many in the world, was barred from leaving the Soviet Union to accept the prize. Again, Russian communism prohibits Sakharov, and now the Chinese communists do the same thing. In 1991, Sun Suu Kyi, the leader of Burma's democracy movement, was not allowed to leave the country by the brutal ruling military junta. China should be ashamed. China should be ashamed, and China should be embarrassed to be in the company of Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, and Burma. Instead, the Chinese government has launched a diplomatic campaign to encourage other nations to boycott Friday's ceremony. In a public statement, China's Vice Foreign Minister threatened that, quote, if they make the wrong choice, they have to bear the consequences. The five countries that have been intimidated, but sided with China, and will not attend Friday's ceremony.
Awarded the 2010 Nobel Peace Prize. When the Norwegian Nobel Committee announced its decision on October 8th, it renewed its past proud history of awarding this prestigious award to outstanding individuals and groups who embody incredible courage and humanity in the face of severe suppression, who embody courage to stand up for their fellow citizens with truth, democracy, and human rights, despite the likely consequences. The Nobel Committee, in its announcement, significantly cited that it awarded the Peace Prize to Mr. Liu because of, and I quote, because of his long and nonviolent struggle for fundamental human rights in China.
One of the most brilliant, most incisive statements of human rights, very, very specific, and very, very much filled with profound bedrock values found in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is analogous to Charter 77, which was penned by Václav Havel and others. And I remember during the 1980s when I and others like Steny Hoyer were actually in Prague meeting with members of Charter 77 who were arrested by the secret police and deprived or precluded the opportunity to meet with us because they, in Czechoslovakia, had enunciated Universal Declaration of Human Rights principles, and for that they went to prison as well.
A history filled with great achievements. As far as I know, it has the only continuously used written language. More recently, this nation has achieved universal literacy and fed its people adequately. One of the nation's achievements, and much more recently, human spaceflight, joining the international community of spacefaring nations. And today, or soon, on Friday, another first, the first Nobel Peace Prize. But inexplicably, this great achievement has been met not only with silence, but with opposition and outright hostility. This is a not comprehensible and ununderstandable failure of pride and patriotism. It is incumbent upon this Chinese government to be on the right side of history, and particularly Chinese history. This is a great achievement. Near my ancestral home of Suzhou in Jiangsu province, where my family has lived for the last 500 or 600 years, the city of Hangzhou, which was the capital of the Southern Song dynasty, is situated on the shores of a very large lake, and there is a memorial park there to various famous figures in Chinese history, and one of them is a great general of the Southern Song dynasty, Yue Fei, and he stands proudly upon those shores, and bowing before him is the emperor who had him executed because of jealousy about Yue Fei's
Before that, China, controlled by the communist regime until today, almost 61 years. At the beginning 30 days and later 30 days, very different. But anyway, it's communist regime. It's very interesting, the West, particularly America, want to engage with China by business and transfer the technology. But they said, well, we would not do it with the Soviet Union because they are evil. We can't do it. But Chinese communists may be different. So we engage with them by business.